Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video would be something interesting tutorial. Why? Because the Christmas is around and I am up with a tutorial which will actually help you to learn how to animate a text in Python using the library Colorama. Okay, so I'll help you out to learn how to animate your text and make your greetings in terms of codings for the new year, for the Christmas, with the help of the library, the Python library, which is Colorama. Okay, so let's get started. So here basically I want to print a text that is Merry Christmas to everyone, wherein I'll be adding some delays and the the color to the text animation like red and green. Okay, so how to do that? So first of all, you have to import, or you have to install the library which is Colorama. Okay, so I have it installed from my command line from my terminal. Okay, you can also do it like pip install Colorama. Okay, so you can write, after doing that you can write from Colorama. Okay, and then you can write import INIT for and style. Okay, now Colorama is the library which will help you to animate your text in Python. Now, why I have written import init for and style. So import init means it will initialize this library which is Colorama. Okay, for means it will help you to represent your the color of the text, which color you're using. For that you have to import for from this particular library, that is Colorama. Okay, and style for styling your text. Okay, like give your text should be a brighter one or a faded one. Okay, those things you can do it with style. So basically here in this particular line of code, Colorama is the library and these are the properties of this particular library itself, which I am importing it. Okay, now next what I'll be doing is I want to also import the time, because in animation time is very much important, like what kind of delay you want to give it to your animation, like after 2 seconds the color should change, the animated text should come up, stuff like that. So for that you have to import the module in Python which is time. Okay, that's the first thing. And second thing is, if you're working in like you are checking your output in your terminal directly from the terminal, at that point of time when you type your uh, like what your file name is in the terminal, and you want to go to that file name and then check the output, so for that case you have to make sure that your terminal is clean, and then only the output will be, only the output should come up. So for that I'm just taking another uh, module which is OS. OS is basically used for cleaning the screen. Okay, that means the terminal screen which you are using, it will clean it up and it will throw you the output. Okay, so whatever code you have written inside your terminal screen, that will be cleared with the help of this particular module which is OS. Okay, after that I'll start off with init, that is initialize, and I'll set auto reset equal to true. Now, why this particular line of code? What's the meaning of this particular line of code? So what it will do, it will actually tell Colorama, the library, that you have to automatically reset your color back to the default. Okay, whenever there is a print statement in my code. Okay, that means if I am changing the colors from red to green, so again it should come back to the default color, whatever the previous color was. Fine. So that is why I have used the init, that is initialization property of Colorama, and then I have auto reset it to true. That means it will by default, the Colorama library will help the text to change the color back to its original state, that is no default state. Okay, once this is done, now we have to go on with the function. Okay, so I am using two functions over here. First functions would be for clearing the screen. Second function would be for animating the text. Okay, so first function I'll be using for clearing the screen. So let's say I write def clear screen. Okay, and here I'll be using the module which is OS. Okay, so what I'll be writing is, so I'll be writing OS dot system. That means I want the terminal to be clean whenever I write the code for execution of this particular, like whenever I want the output, the terminal should be clean and then only the output should come up. That means only the text should be there on the screen, nothing else. So for that, you'll write os.system and I'll write CLS for clear screen. Okay, and I'll also mention if os.name is equal to empty, else I'll just keep it. Okay, now what's happening over here, if you see, so this particular line of code inside the function that is clear screen. So what will happen here, I am writing os.system. That means I am actually calling the module OS, which will help me to clear the screen. When it will clear the screen, if os.name is equal to empty, that means in the terminal, if there is any terminal codes executed by you or written by you for checking out the output, then everything would be cleared once you execute this particular line of code. Okay, so this particular function I'll be using in my animated text function, wherein once I write the animated text code, I'll write clear screen over there. That means I'll call the function, it will clear my terminal screen and it will give me the output. Okay, in the output you'll see how this particular definition works, then only it will be much more clear to you. Okay, this task is done. Now what next? So next we'll come off to another function which is animated text. So I'll just take the function name as animated text. Okay, and inside this I'll pass a parameter, let's say text, because this is what we want to work with, right? And now once this is done, I'll come on to the for loop. Why for loop? So here I'll run a for loop for I in range. Okay, let's say I run it 100. Okay, I run it 100. So what is this particular for loop for? So this particular for loop is I'm using for, you know, how long you want the text to be there. So you can like increase or decrease or shorten or lengthen the text for this from this particular loop. That means how long you want the animation to run. So I have taken the range as 100. Accordingly, you can take yours as well. Now inside this for loop, I'll just go for, first of all, calling the function which is clear screen. Okay, because I want to run the loop. So when my loop is running, the screen should be clear, then only the output should be displayed in the screen, right? So now my screen is clear, and now I'll go off with the if condition, which will actually test the frame, even and odd. Okay, so if the frame is even, that means if I mod 2 is equal to 0, then what will happen at that point of time? Red color needs to be printed, right? So in the animated text, red color should come. So here I'll write print, and then now here we have already taken 4 for the text color, right? So inside the print I'll write 4 dot red. Okay, and then I also want to style it off, so I'll again take this style and I want it to be bright, so I'll write style dot bright. Okay, and plus the text. Fine, this is done if the frame is even. Okay, so in my for loop, when it is running to create the animated text, So it goes frame to frame. Okay, the animated text will come from frame to frame. So when the frame is even, it will show a red color. When the frame is odd, then it will show green color, because R is to display Merry Christmas. So Christmas is of red and green all together. So I'll write else and then a colon, and then I'll write print, and let's copy this one and I'll write this here, and just need to change the red to green. Okay, done. Now this line of code inside the for loop will actually, it is for the animated text, like how much time it should run, how long it should be, frame by frame, what color it should change. Those things we have done inside here. Okay, now if you want to give any sleep time to that particular animated text, you can also give it. Okay, like you want after some time it should go to sleep, it should not keep on animating, so you can write time sleep and then you can mention your time. Let's say I mention it as 0.9. Okay, that's my sleep time. Fine, now your code is done. Next, what you have to do, how to get the output. For that, you just have to write your text first of all. So I'll take text to animate, and then I'll write over here inside this Merry Christmas everyone. Okay, this is my text. And now how will you get the output? So basically you have to call this particular function, that is animated text, right? So here I'll write animated text, and inside that text to animate. Okay, fine. So now this is done. Now what we can do, we can just save this off and we'll go back to our terminal. So let me open the command prompt here. Let me increase the size a little bit, and first of all I'll go to the directory wherein my code is saved. So coding, and now here I'll write Python and then the name of my file. So the name of the file is img.py, so I'll write img.py. Okay, let me increase more so that you guys can see. Okay, so img.py, I press enter. Okay, okay, so let's fix this particular off. So there is an error in the line 1. Okay, let's check that error and then we'll come back to this again. Okay, so here I've just given some spaces so that it looks okay. Fine. And then I think here there is from. Okay, so that was one mistake. That was the mistake in the spelling. So it's from when you are taking a library FROM. Okay, now I'll go to the terminal again. Let me type it. So Python. Okay, let me save this one first. Okay, so Python img.py. Okay, now I press enter. Now you see this is what we got. Merry Christmas. Okay, let me increase it more and let me do this again. Yeah, so this is the output wherein it gets animated and it stops, it comes back to the default for which we have given this one, that is auto reset to default. Okay, now you can increase the time, decrease the time, or increase the range. It's up to you. Okay, like I'll show you again. So here you can increase or decrease the time according to you. You can change or add more colors as well. Okay, now this is how you can animate the text with the help of Colorama library inside Python. I have one more thing for you guys, like what if we just want our text animation to be a bit slower, okay, like frame by frame. So for that thing I have a code which I have written. So for that, what you have to do, you have to give like steps inside the for loop, right, wherein you have to define like after some step or after some stage it stops. Added some steps, so what this part will actually, so rest of the code remains same, like it's similar to this code, but what I have done, I have just added a, a code which will actually interpolate between two colors, that is red and green. So what will happen, like the animation time, the time will be more, the steps will be more, like the framing from red to green, it will be more. So in the output you will see, if it is red, after some time it will change to green. Okay, so it will take time in the animation, right? So here in this particular code you saw the animation changing was rapid. Okay, obviously like you can control that thing, but here you can write like the animation, like suppose it is red, so as I have given here 0.8 sleep time, so after some time the animation will change to green. Okay, so here I'll save it, so there's nothing to explain it again. I have just added, so in earlier code if you see I have written for I in range, let's say 100. So here I have just taken extra, which is steps, which will actually start of the color and end of the color, so it will take time, so that I have calculated with the help of a step. Okay, so I've saved it, and now over here I'll just write Python, let me make it a big screen, so I'll write Python i.py. okay, and then I press enter. So now see, this is red right now. Okay, the color is red. It takes some time and then it slowly changes off to a different color. So that's what the difference is between those two programs. Okay, so if you see again, so it changes the color frame by frame. So now it is red. Slowly it will change off to a bit of color from red. And then the final color is green. So now it changes to completely green. And then it takes some time to sleep. That is, I have given 0.8. So it remains there. And then it will come back to the terminal. Okay. So that's how you can animate your text with two various ways. Okay, so Merry Christmas to everyone.